Are we live? Yep.
Not
We are
yet.
live now, according to my side. So,
Oh, cool.
all right. So, hey everyone. Wanted to let you know that we're here and we have some, as Leila said earlier this morning, golden nuggets for you. And so let us know you're here. I actually can't see you sign your name, but Leila can and will let me know. Feel free to just put your name and say hi.
Okay, one person, two people are watching.
Great. Who's there?
If you tell us hello, we can see that you're there. And let us know if you can hear us well, if you can see us.
Don't go away. We have some special stuff for you. Let's just give it one more minute and start.
I actually found a way to invite my Facebook friends to the live stream. So I'm going through my list to send an instant notification right now.
Okay,
So far, we have 3 people watching.
great. Whoever's there, since I can't see it, but Leila will tell me, like I said. Thanks for hopping on with us. While we're just sitting here together, we're going to be doing a meditation first. And so I'm just inviting you in right now just to notice your breath. So in prep for it. And while we're just waiting another moment or so, just to say that I'm Judy Dragon. I'm a theta healer. I'm an author, and I work with people who have trauma in childhood. That's my specialty. And I've been an alternative healer for about 40 years. And my partner, one of my teammates, is Leila. Leila, you want to say something? Okay.
I will in this. 6 people are watching. Yes. Oh, Danielle, hi.
Oh, good.
Carolyn, thank you. Our audio is working just fine. Thank you. Melody,
Hey, Melody.
Rebecca,
Hi, Rebecca.
and we're up to 7 people now. Yuppie. Okay, so I managed to invite a few of my Facebook friends. We'll see. And so you asked me to introduce myself briefly, right, Judy?
Yeah.
So my name is Leila Kobehusa. I live in Belgium. I facilitate inner work with people. I help people make a living out of their soul purpose, because it's also what I'm doing. And I've been in theta healing for 10 years. Before that, I was an IT consultant, believe it or not. And my passion truly is personal development work in a holistic way. So that's what I'm going to share this time. It's a little bit of a different story every time, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you always remind me what to say. So, anyway, I'm fine where I'm at.
We were going to share about what we have been experiencing first, right?
Yeah,
You want to lead with that?
yeah. So,
Oh,
both,
Sydney.
oh,
I
Sydney, yay. Um, both of us are in Kundalini. We're in a spiritual experience again. Both of us actually went into it in 2011, went through several years of being in it. Some of you may not know what that is, but it's quite intense. And it's like energy moving through our bodies, and everyone has a different experience of that. But mine feels like vibrations in my fascia and in my organs, and sometimes it goes up to my pineal. And then Leila, you can share your experience of that.
just saw my mother joined. Hi, Mom. How lovely. So yeah, my experience is similar, and it's like, yeah, this infusion of energy, really intense energy in the body, and usually I feel it through my spine first, and then I have to bring my awareness to it. There's just no other way, because if I try to avoid it, it just becomes painful. So as I bring my awareness to it, then, I start to receive all sorts of information about myself, insights, kind of like a theta healing digging session that is kind of being imposed. But now that I know what it is, it doesn't feel invasive anymore, although it can happen at moments where you're like, oh, really now? But yeah, it's like now. And it's definitely it's helping me grow. It's just providing me with new insights and more wisdom, and not just spiritual wisdoms, but also wisdoms about my body, about my purpose, about what the next steps are for me. So it's almost like my soul is saying, okay, you need to know this now or tomorrow, so we're going to spend some time on this in this particular format and way. That's as good as I could describe my experience. Does anybody recognize that, by the way? Let us know. Because this is actually a common thing, right? People have been going through this for eons, right?
But most people don't know what it is because it can get very intense. But I want to just kind of draw the attention away from that so we can go into the meditation, because we could talk a whole thing on Kundalini emergency. And we have another topic, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Are you okay with that?
Judy, you know that focus is one of the things that you bring to our project in collaboration. So yes, absolutely. Let's focus on what we were going to do.
Yeah. So Leila's going to take us into a meditation, kind of joining there is a worldwide 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. meditation. And we're just aiming our theta healing meditation to coordinate with that because we work out of time and space, and also to fill us up with a lot of unconditional love first. So she's going to lead that meditation, and we're going to all just be with that, whatever your experience is.
Okay. 12 people are watching now. So indeed, I'm going to offer a guided meditation, and I'm going to share briefly what we're going to do so that, those of you who have a very strong mental aspect that mental aspect can relax in knowing where I'm going to take you. So I'm going to bring you into your body, connect with the earth, connect with unconditional love. And then we're going to expand that unconditional love onto the world and visualize and feel what kind of world you want to create, what you want in your world, okay? So if it feels right, I want to invite you to close your eyes and make sure that you're comfortable wherever you're sitting or laying. And so I want to invite you to first bring your awareness to your breath and just notice how you're breathing. And maybe you're breathing slowly, maybe fast or deep, maybe not so deep. Just notice. And just assess if maybe you want to start breathing a little more deeply. And then I want to invite you to bring your awareness to your heart. And maybe it feels good to put a hand on your heart as well, so that you can feel yourself and your body a little closer. And so just breathe into your heart. Imagine your breath going into and through your heart. And then I would like to invite you to bring your awareness, your consciousness to the heart of the earth, all the way down. And imagine that you can do this really fast and effortlessly. And so imagine connecting with the heart of Mother Earth. And imagine that this energy is really gentle and really welcoming. And so imagine that energy moving up to the bottom of your feet. And imagine that energy going through your feet, all the way up through every cell of your body. And imagine that energy going all the way to the top of your head. And imagine that energy forming a ball of light around you. So you are in a ball of light of that yummy earth energy. And take a moment to look at what color that ball is for you today. And then imagine part of your consciousness moving up in that ball of light above you, through the air, past the earth, past the universe. And imagine being in that ball of light, going through a first layer of beautiful lights, beautiful bright lights. And imagine going up, moving through those lights higher and higher. And the higher you go, the more relaxed your body feels. And then imagine passing a second layer of even more beautiful lights. And imagine going through those lights higher and higher. And then imagine, still in that ball of light, going through a more jelly-like substance, a little thicker. Maybe you'll see maybe you'll hear sounds there or see stuff there. And that's okay. Keep moving through it, higher and higher. And the higher you go, the more relaxed your body feels. And so imagine seeing a very gentle, soft, pink light. And imagine that light bringing you to a gate or a door, a window, an opening. And imagine going through that door. You're entering the unconditional love of all that is. And imagine going really deeply into that energy. Even more, even more. And imagine seeing the most beautiful light of all and go towards that light. And imagine being in that light. And imagine becoming one with that light, only you don't disappear, you stay yourself. It's possible that you feel some tingling in your body. And go into that energy even more deeply. Because this is the unconditional love of all that is. This energy just is. This is a creative energy of all that is. This is pure creative energy. And it's your birthright to work with that energy, to connect with it. And so imagine filling up with that light, and imagine bringing that light, taking that light with you and going back down to your body and filling up your body with that unconditional love energy, with that consciousness of pure love. And imagine what that feels like. Feel that nurturing, safe, loving consciousness fill up every cell of your physical body. And take a moment to just feel what that's like from head to toes. And just be with that energy, be with that consciousness of unconditional love that is in you and all around you. And now imagine that that unconditional love energy expands around you. So around your body, and in every cell of the room that you're in, or if you're outside in the air, imagine that unconditional love expanding all around you. And imagine that energy expanding all the way to the entire earth. Imagine the entire earth being filled with that unconditional love. And now imagine, what kind of world would you like to co-create? Imagine feeling what would bring you joy. What do you want to see that would bring you happiness and gratitude? Imagine what would make you feel warm inside. What would make you feel safe? Maybe wildlife returning, waterfalls, clean water, clean air. What would that feel like? Feel what it feels like to have that in your life. Maybe community, healthy men, healthy women, connecting, feeling safe together, feeling nurtured, empowered, building things together, playing together, singing together. What would bring you joy? What would you like to see? Small businesses thriving, people helping each other out effortlessly. Feel that abundance. Feel that abundance in your body. What would bring you gratitude and wonder? Gardens, children playing, children feeling safe. Emotionalize this. And then I would like you to imagine coming back into your body, into the here and now, landing here back with us. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you have opened your eyes again, let us know what that was like for you. Did you enjoy that? Did you appreciate that? What did you create? What did you see? What did you feel? Put it in the comments. I'd love to know.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Leila, for guiding that. That was, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to share something that you saw or felt?
Oh, I just put all the elements in, seeing kids jump around with blowing bubbles and communities and waterfalls and rainbows and, thriving and love and connection and magic. And it just felt good. Anyone else have an experience they want to jot down?
I'm not seeing any comments yet. Maybe we have some delays, or maybe people are still sitting in that bliss.
Maybe. So it's almost like I don't want to run into the topic if they're still landing here.
Sorry.
So
Did you say that again, Judy?
I didn't want to almost go to the topic if they're still landing in their bodies. So
Yeah, let's give them a few moments. Let us know if you're ready to move on. Anna says, gardens growing and children's laughter and playing together in the playgrounds.
oh, yeah.
Melody says, thank you for that. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Rebecca says, thank you, Leila. So beautiful and peaceful. I kept both hands on my heart. Oh, I felt peaceful in my body. I saw a beautiful deer, doe, in a green meadow surrounded by tall pine trees.
Oh, that's very serene to me.
Sydney says, lovely meditation. Bringing in the emotion along with the vision was so important. Thank you. Hands on my heart. Oh, I felt peaceful in my body. I saw.
Oh, some gadget went off on. She's really readjusting here, so you don't have to have a feedback on the meditation. So while she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the topic just a little bit. So our topic today, really feeling into what's going on in the world, and is truth, like with a capital T, and then there's truth with a little t. So so much is perceived as truth, both. Not so easy sometimes to discern. And most of what we call truth are things that we believe to be facts and are told to us through our stories and our histories that we share. And also from what we read in the media in some form, whether it be radio or newspaper or TVs or YouTubes or social media, whatever it is. So in non-dualistic spirituality and in theta healing, there is one love and truth that runs through it all. That's why we took you up, so you could feel that with us. And when we consider this as the purest form of truth, which is truth with a big T, when we experience this concept, it opens up these magical possibilities to create and manifest. And that's what you were kind of doing, is you were manifesting in a group, and quantumly that spreads because we're all connected. There is also this somatic relaxing and lightness of your being. You could feel that. And we call it the purest truth, a truth with love embedded into it. And for us, it's not about believing it, but experiencing it. And we have so many beliefs about truth and love that keep us separated, in a sense, from knowing that full-bodied like we were just experiencing. The truth with the little t's are everything else, what has a different experience and qualities to it. So today we're going to share a personal story about truth and the impact of it. But before that, we're going to share a few concepts with you that we hopefully feel will improve the quality of your life in these very impactful times. So I'm going to turn it over to Leila, and she's going to share it from there.
Thank you, Judy. I just want to read one more comment. Maria says, thank you, a bit dizzy after the meditation, mostly children dancing with me and the whole community, fresh air.
Yeah, fresh air.
So yes, truth, that is such a concept, and what's important to me is to help people understand that there is a lot more choice than what the collective narrative sometimes says, and the collective narrative will state things as the absolute truth of things. But so as we educate ourselves, we will find that the absolute truth may not be the collective narrative. And what's interesting is that actually physics have already proven this, or proven this. Like, have you all heard of quantum physics? I'm sure you have. Let us know in the comments. And so just to quickly and briefly and conceptually explain what that is, quantum physics is a branch of physics that studies the smallest parts of matter. So up until a certain time, scientists thought that the atom was the smallest thing they could study that exists. Actually, they thought it was the smallest thing that existed. And then they found, actually, no, inside an atom, there's more to study. But what they found was that what's inside an atom does not behave according to the laws of physics as they were known. And so there's this really famous experiment by a man called Niels Bohr. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about, or if this is complete Chinese to you guys. Actually, yeah. So what Niels Bohr did was he had an experiment. He conducted an experiment. He wanted to know whether light behaved like, or was a particle, or was a wave. And so what was the importance of that? Well, depending on whether something is classified as a particle or as a wave, this would allow science to predict its behavior into all sorts of mathematical formulas. And those formulas is what allopathic medicine is based upon. And so what Niels Bohr found was that light could behave as a particle as well as a wave. And this was revolutionary at the time, because up until then, science really thought that it was either or you're a particle or you're a wave. And so that these new experiments were showing that actually things can be both. And so what is the situation in which they shift? Well, I'm sure you have an idea what that could be like, what that answer would be. It all depends on consciousness. It depends on who was observing it, when it was being observed, how it was being observed. So science already knows that our consciousness influences matter, influences what we create. So I thought that was a very important concept to remember. And even if you don't fully understand, the technicalities of quantum physics, the concept is simple. Consciousness influences everything. So consciousness meaning our mindsets, our belief systems. I feel so inspired by that thought. So this, in connection with, certain narratives that are being told in the world, expands the possibilities for what we can create, how we can heal, how we can co-create with each other. And it's not so much that we need to understand with our mental minds or cognitive functions how this then would work. It's enough to start by the meditation that we did, for example, by imagining it, visualizing it, and emotionalizing it, feeling it, and then let, you know, that creative energy do its work.
And when we do it in a theta brainwave state, when we observe and witness in that state, it becomes a burning reality. It's like you know it in your body.
Yeah.
You experience it in this physical 3D existence.
Right. That is what Vianna, the founder of the theta healing technique, basically discovered, right? That she was putting her brain in a theta brainwave mainly, and that was incredibly powerful to do healings and readings and all of that.
And also it enabled us to be our own experiencers in connection with that, to find our own truth. Because she always says, go up and find your own truth. When when we connect with this energy, this pure truth, this pure love. So Leila's going to share, and also if you want to leave any comments about that, we would love to hear that.
Yeah, let us know. Was that helpful? Was that easy to understand? Do you have questions about that? Please let us know. And meanwhile, I'll also read another comment we got from Shaziela. She says, thank you, Leila, to bring me into this meditation. I felt peace and kindness. I saw singing children holding their hands, healthy and peaceful people.
That's beautiful. So Leila's going to share a picture on the screen. And as that picture appears, we're going to invite you to just really gaze into it and tell us what you see as far as the colors. So Leila, you can put that up there.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm not seeing any comments, so I don't know if we're missing them, if they're not coming through, or if you all are just being quiet. But so hopefully I will see your responses, because really it's about letting you experience this this realm of possibility. What colors do you see? This sneaker. This is a sneaker with laces. And so the laces and the sneaker itself are a different color. What do you see? Do you see white, gray, pink, green? Let us know.
And write it down for us so that, we can see it.
And there is no right or wrong answer, by the way.
And it could be purple for all we know that you're seeing. So
Judy, what colors do you see?
I see pink and white. I mean, the white shoelaces and the white stripe and the pink tennis shoe.
That's so awesome. Yes. Oh, thank you for responding. So Anna says pink and white too.
Okay.
Melody says soft pink with an accent.
I don't know what that means.
Spanish accent, Melody, or soft pink with an accent. Soft pink with an accent. Not sure what that means. Rebecca says light pink and whites. Debbie says mauve and whites. Oh. And Ali says light pink and greenish whites.
Oh.
Very interesting. So not everybody is seeing the same, just, and that was kind of the point of this experiment. And I'm just gonna see if I can post that picture in the comments, because you probably can see it better. On there. And no, it's not working. Never mind. So, Melody, thank you. With white accents. Okay, so Melody said soft pink with white accents. Okay, that autocorrect, right? That's so interesting. So what I see gray and light green, like mint green.
So can we refocus it now? So we'll take the picture off. So if you noticed, we all agreed that it was a tennis shoe. But the colors were variant. And when we observe colors, there's a spectrum of frequencies. And depending on how it's observed, as we were talking about before, which comes from the cones and rods in our eyes, you know, how they're working. And cones and rods give us our day and night photoreceptors. And the mood of the person, the focus, the intention, and the side of the brain that's engaged, that creates the illusion of color on this plane. And if you were seeing it in pink and white, that meant you were using the right side of your brain. If you were seeing green,
Yeah, more,
yeah. And if you were seeing gray and green, is the left side of your brain. So we looked that up just to make sure to kind of reorient ourselves that the left side of the brain is more analytical or rational, I think, right? And the right side of the brain is the intuitive side. So, you know, it's how we look at the world. And, you know, we bring this up to share the variance of truth that shows up for us just on the level of colors. So you can imagine what goes on in the world with all this variance of what is reported as truth. And our invitation is reconnect with the purity of unconditional love and feel it from there what the truth is for you.
And so my hope is also that by how we're talking about truth and introducing these concepts, that this will help you to maybe, if you want to, if you need to, that this will allow you to talk about these things with people in your environment as well, because these things are important to talk about and not always easy to do so. So that is also one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this, so we can support you to have these conversations with others as you feel called to do so.
It certainly puts it in a more gentle space and helps to pull us out of that place that this is right, this is wrong.
Right.
There's such a variance.
Right. And ultimately it's about, okay, what do you want to create right here, right now? Because in every moment, there is a new possibility to decide what you're going to create. Every moment, there's a new chance to make a choice. This is what I want to create. So was that educational? Was that helpful? Did you already know that? Let us know. And then we're going to go to the next thing we wanted to talk about, right? To the childhood. Because here's the thing, children absorb, you know, the world of the adults around them. They absorb the ideas or opinions from their caregivers, their parents, as truths about themselves, about the world. And they learn to often identify themselves from these parental projections. For example, you know, like being, well, actually, I want to let you tell your story first, and then we're going to get more into this.
Okay.
So Judy has a really awesome story to share. And then after, I'm going to talk about how what happens to Judy basically made her believe certain truths or certain things about herself that she came to accept as the absolute truth. And it wasn't really that. It wasn't really that, right?
Right. I had to unwind out of that. Okay. Because those projected truths, as Leila was saying, became identity pieces for myself. So when I was 7 years old, my uncle was going to get married. And he was one of my perpetrators, but I didn't have any memory of him at the time. I just knew that I really liked his wife, and my uncle had this ridiculous hyena laugh that just seemed so funny to me. And so, at inappropriate times, he would just have this hyena laugh, and everybody else would laugh with him. So I really wanted to go to the wedding. And the shoes that my mother expected me to wear were really ugly. And they were tight on my little toes, and they were pinching me. And they were dressy shoes that she had bought months ago. And I had one party to wear them to. I hated them then, and I didn't want to wear them again. So instead of my mother hearing my need to have another pair of shoes and to support my self-esteem, because I had really low self-esteem, a big fight ensued. And I had disagreed with my mother's need for my obedience and what she thought was best for me. And she was really controlling the narrative of what I can say. And she slapped me across the face and saying, when I said, I'm not going to wear it. So my father stepped in, hearing the crying and screaming. And my mother was in a frenzy. She was manic depressive. And so she also had a dissociative disorder. So she explained her right to dominate that decision of mine. And so in order for my father to mitigate this, he decided to calm it down by siding with her. And she would tell me she told him, I'm the stubborn one. So this is how authority worked in my family to keep things calm. My father would support me other times, but not this one. We had teams in the family. So I was usually on my father's team and my sister was on my mother's team, but it didn't happen in this instant. So he blamed me for upsetting my mother, and his ultimatum was to either wear the shoes or stay home. So the choice for me was really clear. I said I'd stay home. My mother's parents would be at the wedding because it was her brother. So they had my paternal grandmother, who I really love so much, come as the sitter. So I was really upset that I couldn't go, but I just loved that I could have my grandmother to myself. So that's my story.
Thank you for sharing that, Judy. And I felt a lot of sadness when I heard you share that you got slapped across the face, by the way. That totally hurt my heart. And I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks.
And so, such beliefs that you came to believe, or such things you came to believe about yourself because of that story, right? Because what I heard was that your mother's opinion became the truth about yourself, because, and this is also because I know a little bit more about your history, but you ended up believing that you are an angry person and that you are difficult. And so imagine walking around with those beliefs, because those beliefs co-create your world. You know, if you believe that you are an angry person, you are a difficult person, then you're going to attract situations that are going to validate that all the time until you change those beliefs, until you change how you believe, what you believe about yourself. And so children are so vulnerable to accept, certain truths or certain things that are being told about themselves that are being reflected back, And then another set of beliefs that I heard was that your behavior of asking for your needs to be met was wrong. It was called disobedience and stubbornness. I mean, how many children believe that they are being difficult or disobedient or stubborn when they ask for something that they need that is not in line with what the caregiver wants from them? And so children take that on as truths, and then it becomes really difficult later in life to get your needs met because you think, well, I'm being disobedient and stubborn and all of that. And
Or I'll
so,
get punished for it.
right. Also getting punished for it. And then also what I heard in the story was that you were made responsible for your mother's feelings.
Right.
So how many of you recognize that, the being blamed for being responsible for somebody else's feelings? And then when you run around with that belief as being true for you, then, that played out, that can play out in codependency in relationships.
Right.
This is how codependency is created. So it's important to know that and to also, be compassionate with yourself when you notice that you have those patterns, because they probably stem from something similar from childhood. Um,
And can you imagine that many of us probably have the same patterns? And here we are as adults, if we haven't worked on those issues, we end up projecting into the world, into the group consciousness. So here we are today in this mishmash of shutdown, which is that projection many of us have put into the soup. And now we're cleaning that up.
yeah. Yeah, indeed. And, parents for children are authorities. And so here we are indeed in the world as adults with, certain self-declared authorities that are projecting a certain truth upon us. And so it's up to us to have discernments to make our own connection with, all that is, or the creator of all that is, and live our own truth.
If you have comments, please write them down. We want to hear from you. We want to know what came up.
How do you feel? Yeah. How did you feel in hearing Judy's story? Can you relate? Um, did you have similar experiences? How did your family respond when you asked for what you needed? I would love to read you.
Anything all of you would like to say?
So right now, I'm not seeing any comments.
Okay.
My feeling is that people are just um, being with what we're sharing and just letting it sink in or see how it affects them. And because what we're sharing can bring up a lot for people.
Yeah. And just to say that I brought up the story because it's a story I processed years ago. So I don't have a charge about it. It's just kind of a processed memory for me. And all the characters in it are forgiven. I feel fine about all of them. Um, they have their accountability piece, but it's not with me. It's with all that is. So that feels like I don't have to carry that any longer for myself, and I don't.
Thank you for sharing that, Judy. Sydney says, interesting that you were allowed to stay home and not forced to go anyway.
Yeah, it is interesting. They thought they were punishing me.
Melody says, I think it was a great example that most of us can relate to. Helps to remember the effect of our behavior on others, probably even more amplified in children.
Good point.
Indeed. Sydney says, that shows the strength inside you even at 7 years old. Your grandma was willing to stay with you.
Yeah. And Sid, how much I love that grandma.
Hi, Tamara. Tamara says, I just came on. I'll listen to the replay for sure.
Oh, great.
I hope you do. There's a really great meditation at the beginning. Thank you for joining. Rebecca says, I had similar experiences with my mother. I did not meet her needs, so I was labeled difficult. I was punished for trying to have my needs met because I did not fit her agenda or expectations. I have I have been working on knowing what my needs are and trusting that without feeling wrong or fearing punishment or ridicule. Thank you, Judy. Yeah.
Thanks, Rebecca, for sharing that too.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So we have some downloads for you, and these are creators' teachings. These are concepts that you may not have, and all you have to do is just say yes to yourself, and you can receive them. I'm going to be reading them, and Leila is going to witness the downloading from that seventh plane energy. Did you want to add anything, Leila?
Yes, I want to read 2 more comments that came in meanwhile.
Okay.
Kendra says, I just came on. I look forward to the replay as well. Nice to see you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Kendra.
much for joining us.
Thanks for coming on.
Rebecca says, thank you, ladies. I feel safe and heard here.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Tamara says, I just expressed my needs with my partner this morning. I've been outside doing some clearings around being heard.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that, Tamara.
Yeah. Seems like it's quite timely.
So meaningful to express our needs indeed. Okay.
All right.
Downloads.
All right. So Leila's going to go to that seventh plane energy. And would you like to know what it feels like, how to, when to, that it's possible, that it's safe, that you're worthy, deserving, and good enough, that you can, that you do, be able to feel your needs, questions, and curiosity in life have value, importance, and count. Say yes to yourself as we go to the next one, to feel listened to and heard with care, to live without feeling that others' emotional expectations are the way to live your life. Say yes if you want to receive that. And signal me, Leila, for the.
Yeah.
Okay. To feel supported in thinking for yourself, to know what is best for you, to discern another's truth from your own. Next.
Yes.
The strength to stand in your truth, to discern if others' rules relate to your truth, to take responsibility for your part in a situation without going against your truth, to live without controlling others.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So those were the downloads for today. What was that like for all of you? Feel free to comment. And we want to check in. What?
I think probably people need a moment to come out of that.
Okay.
As I do.
Okay.
That was like
Okay.
having a good time there. So yeah, let us know what those downloads were like for you. Oh, Tamara says tears streaming. Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Danielle says, I love the downloads so much. Thank you. With 3 O's. And so we're asking for your feedback on the downloads, but also, I also just want to say what we would love to hear from you is what you would like us to talk about next in another Facebook Live. Like if you have any topics that you want to throw at us, we would love to know that. Kendra says, I teared up when I heard you say deciphering another's truth from my own. Very resonate. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah.
Rebecca says, awesome downloads. Thank you. I feel the part about without the need to control others is so important. Mm. To feel safe and in my own power, regardless of others' beliefs. Yeah.
That's right. This is the time for that. Big time.
Sydney says, so important to discern truth right now. Thank you,
Yeah.
Judy and Leila. Thank you, Sydney.
Thanks, Sid.
Danielle says, I missed a part, by the way. I left and I'm obviously back now. Well, thank you for letting us know, Danielle. So glad you're back.
So we
Go ahead.
wanted to just say that this was supposed to be 20 minutes and we ended up doing an hour. And we eventually want to do, shorter ones. And we eventually want to do webinars to kind of bring more of these topics and conversations, up front for everyone. And we also want to check with you. Do you want us to do it again? We've done 3 of them so far.
Yeah.
And by the way, all of them are on our website, which is the Moving Beyond Trauma Project.org. So you can review the videos there. They're also on the Facebook page. On our website, we also have self-help tips. We have our winter series of podcasts. We would love if you signed up, which is right on our website. Leila, you want to say more?
Yeah, people, if you want to be notified by email whenever we do something, we have a lot of plans for the future, so that you stay informed of our initiatives. I'm gonna put the link to sign up in the comments. So if you're feeling this, if this is helpful to you in any way, if you like our energy, if you connect to what we're doing, how we're doing it, stay with us, hang out, sign up for our mailing list, and then you will be notified of new initiatives. We don't send you any blah blah or any spam. We only just do the point, and you can always unsubscribe at any time by one click. So
We also do, our other teammate, Debbie, isn't here. All of us, we do private sessions, and we're also looking for volunteers. We are a nonprofit. We are tax exempt, so any donations, you can write that off. So we just wanted to let you know that.
okay, this is the link to sign up. And then, these Facebook Lives, we always post them on our website as well in the video section. So to watch the replay, you can just, come back to Facebook. But You can also rewatch the videos on our website.
Any other comments that all you wonderful people today?
Yes.
You
So comments. Melody says, I love the downloads too, very empowering.
Thanks, Melody.
Tamara says, absolutely love them, and they are so helpful with 4 O's, especially during this time. Danielle says, I think these Facebook Lives are a gift.
Oh, thank you.
Sydney says, yes, more would be wonderful. I know how you have to prepare ahead of time, and it is so appreciated, even with all we're going through.
Thank you, Sid. I also want you to know that each topic that we choose, we do some prep, and we all the downloads come from what we talk about. So we go through them to make sure that they're aligned with what we're talking about.
Yeah. And so if you think of any topics you would like us to talk about, please let us know, because we want to serve you, basically. Rebecca says, yes, more please. As a topic, can we do some downloads sometime about minimizing or playing small?
Okay. Thanks.
See, Rebecca, Judy's writing this down right away. We'll be talking about this. And yeah, hopefully you're signed up for our mailing list, so you get notified for when we're going to talk about this, because we always send in the topic of the next Facebook Live in our emails. Kendra says, thank you both. I look forward to checking out the replays. May the healing you gift to others cycle back to you both tenfold. Many blessings.
Thanks, Kendra.
I'm feeling it. Thank you, Kendra. Okay, and so at the moment, there are still 9 people with us watching, which is really cool. Thank you so much for those who stayed till the end. And thank you for all your comments. If you have more comments after we hang up, we will read them. We will answer you. If you want to email us your topics, then that is good too. What's our email, Judy? team@themovingbeyondproject.org. The Moving Beyond Trauma
Project. The Moving Beyond Trauma Project.org.
A lot of words. And Rebecca says, I get the emails and notices. Good.
Good.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We really, really appreciate your support and your feedback, and just participating in that world meditation was just so on top of my list in the past 2 days. And remember, you can do it at 11 o'clock tonight, your time. Again, this is joining in with other people all around the world to visualize and experience and to emotionalize what you want to create in that love, because unconditional love is and will always be. So
Beautiful words to end with, Judy.
thanks. So bye, everyone.
Oh yeah. How do I end this? Oh, yeah.